no limitations.
It's a new season. It's a new day. Join me, Lillian Lewis McDonald, here on NRP Radio, where it's all about focusing on our health and wellness. When? Every Monday at 6:30 p.m. with repeats on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Broadcasting on the platform of nrpmediaja.com, Facebook, YouTube at nrpmediaja. See you then. Hello and welcome back to this our program, your program here on NRP Radio, when it's all about your health and wellness. I'm delighted to be with you again. I'm Lillian Lewis McDonald, and we will continue to take that special time to give our men some attention, some well needed attention. And we are continuing with the topic of self care. Usually, when you hear the word self care, I know what comes to mind: the nail polish, the mask on the face, the sauna, the relaxation, and it's quite different, to have self care and men in the same sentence. However, that's what we're here about. We're here about educating and helping persons to realize that self care is more than pampering, far more than pampering. According to Mind Journal, and I totally agree, self care is anything you do to improve your physical and mental health. This means seeking help when necessary, choosing, being deliberate about eating healthy foods, nourishing foods, being deliberate about crafting out time for exercise, time for play, time for fun, ensuring that you're taking care of the body, you're taking your regular baths, you're making sure that you're applying your lotions and your cologne and you're having the trims when it's necessary, making time to schedule your doctor's appointment. You know, men are known to be the ones who wait for the last. It's as if they stretch it out and they suffer for long, and by the time they get to the doctor, it is too late, and a number of times these are preventable illnesses. And so the pap smear, not the pap smear, of course, not the pap smear. My apologies. You see, we are so much into women that it just rolls off the tongue. But the prostate checks, the blood pressure checks, the blood glucose checks, that total assessment that looks at your lung and your heart and your bladder, all of those tests are very important, and especially the screenings for cancer, the screenings for high blood pressure. High blood pressure is a silent killer. So making time to schedule those doctor's appointments and all those other things are self-care. Remember, self-care is not being selfish or soft. It is essential, and it provides that retooling needed to effectively manage all the many roles and functions that our men play. Now, various studies have shown that men are at a higher risk for diseases, for injuries, and for death. And this is higher than it is for women. Notably, Harvard Health Publishing says that in the US, women live about 5 years longer than men. It is also found and stated by Samaritans from the UK that the rate of suicide among men is far more than that of women. In the Harvard Gazette, there was a recording that indicated that during the COVID-19 pandemic, men were dying twice as frequent as women. So, society is usually saying that men are to be tough and you need to be macho and you can't be crying and you have to show that hardness, that that robust. But let me say to you men, pampering and taking care of yourself or being so deliberate about ensuring that you are looking out for you is not less than being a man. In fact, what that does is it strengthens you. It gives you like a longer time to live around to be able to do the things that you want to do. And so I want to encourage men to stop suffering in silence, but rather to take your self-care very seriously. We celebrated Father's Day, and I dare us to continue to celebrate our men. I urge men to become more aware of their needs and to make every effort to prioritize becoming the best version of yourself. I am not a man, I know that clear. So I sought some help in arriving at some tips, some guidelines that men can use to safeguard and to practice and to pay attention to what self care looks like for them. So there are 6 tips or 6 areas of self care that was, found overall in most of the different articles or the different, you know, information that I found regarding self care and men. So it spoke to physical self care, emotional self care, spiritual self care, financial self care, professional self care, psychological self care. Let's delve into the physical self care. There's a common saying that as a man thinketh, so is he. We must appreciate that mind and body are interconnected. So it's important to foster good thoughts, and it's also important to take care of the physical self. So keep hydrated. And it may seem simple, but dehydration can create a whole lot of challenges with our electrolytes. Dehydration can create a whole lot of trouble with our bones and muscles and how they function. And so remaining hydrated helps, because remember, the fluid helps even with the blood flowing through the body. It helps with the removal of toxins. It helps to make the joints supple and movable without, those rough edges coming, basically rubbing together. So keeping hydrated is a very, 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 very important part of a man's well-being. It is also important that you get enough sleep. So sometimes we're running from this place to that place. We're doing so many things and we're getting little sleep. When you lack sleep, your concentration is impacted. When you lack sleep, you are less likely to be, more accommodating. You get a little antsy even quicker. So it's very important that you balance sleep, eat balanced meals, and based on the activity that you have to be involved with in terms of work and your daily life, then you're going to choose. So you have the go foods, and the go foods are those that give the quick energy, the yams, the potatoes. You have the grow food, which are the muscle building ones. So this could be in the form of a plant protein or it could be animal protein. So the chicken, fish, the egg, the peas and beans. And of course, you need the glow foods, which are the fruits and vegetables that help the skin to look alive and, beautiful. Remember, exercise on a regular basis will increase your confidence, reduce stress, and also help you to get a good sleep. So, the next one we look at is the emotional self care. And by emotional self care, it is just basically being aware of the different triggers, the different things that ticks you off, the different things that make you angry and annoyed, and the different things that will create sadness, the different things that will create irritation. And if you are aware, then this puts you in a position of power where you're able to control your response. You're able to modify your response. You're able to do some mitigation strategies so you don't blow off the handle and sometimes causing that, that allows a fight or something physical, and then, it becomes ugly. So it's very important for men to get to know themselves and know the triggers so that they'll be able to modify their responses. How do you achieve this? You might need to have someone that you can speak to, a friend. You might even want to consider therapy. And I know a number of times we have this notion that once you go to a therapy, it means that you are crazy, you are mad. But we want to erase this, discriminatory thought that once you are seeing a therapist, that something is, you have lost a screw. No, it's just an opportunity to unburden what burdens you, and in an environment where you will feel free because there is non-judgmental. This person is trained to ensure that they, give you the freedom to speak and to also guide. So if it's necessary, go and get that counseling. Speak to someone, unburden those emotions that are impeding and creating this big block on the shoulders. The next self care tip is the spiritual self care. And for me, this is the bedrock. This is the foundational one. We are all created to serve our Creator. And when you are able to release everything on Him, there is a peace that comes that is, it's hard to explain, but just the knowledge of knowing that you can go to your Creator, the one who created you, who knows about the product, and cast the concerns and the cares on Him, it does make a difference. So, having those times when you are tuning in, you would have blocked out all the noise and the distractions, and then you would have tuned in to give thanks and to hear what your Creator has to say to you is very important, and a very important aspect of your self care. You are able to take time to connect with God, and He will strengthen you, give you direction, supply peace to your entire soul. These self care tips, these three self care tips, three of the six, are very critical. And I really want us to erase the notion that men don't need self care. I really want to reiterate that self-care is anything that you do that bring enhancement to your body, enhancement to how you feel about yourself, enhancement to how you view things around you. So we're going to pause for a bit before we continue in the other three tips that were provided as it relates to self care that men, are targeted for men. And we're going to go to a station break and we'll be back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I'm Geneve.
And I'm Kalisha. And we are the Chryso Praises. You're listening to NRP Media. and radio. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Four Seasons Sports and Equipment, the Sports Closet, now located at shop number 3, Leaders Plaza, Nashville, Mandeville, Manchester. Call them today at 876-613-7429. Cellular phone 876-363-8323 or 876-546-0630. Yes, you asked for it and now you got it. Four Seasons Sports and Equipment. Shop with us for a wide range of sporting goods and equipment. It's Four Seasons Sports and Equipment. Sports Closet you'll never go asking for anymore.
Jack, make we talk baking right now. Me taste some things from the bakery up there so, and the next one around there so, but them not taste so good.
So what you do then?
Me just decide to go down to Caledonia Mall in Mandeville and Williamsfield and buy my things at Better Taste Bakery me there.
So what them have?
For all your Christmas breads, buns, mullahs, jackas, khan, and other baked stuff, come visit us today and make your special purchase at our Williamsfield location as well as at Shop 5 Caledonia Plaza in Mandeville.
We're opened Mondays to Saturdays for your shopping pleasure.
Call us for your special order at telephone number 876-624-0555 and 876-961-0575. Better Taste Bakery for all your baking needs for the entire family.
It's a new season. It's a new day. Join me, Lillian Lewis McDonald, here on NRP Radio, where it's all about focusing on our health and wellness. When? Every Monday at 6:30 p.m. with repeats on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Broadcasting on the platform of nrpmediaja.com, Facebook, YouTube at nrpmediaja. See you then. All right, welcome back. And if you're just joining us here on NRP Radio, this is Lillian Lewis McDonald, and we are talking about your health and wellness. More specifically, we are celebrating our men. We're saying Happy Belated Father's Day. We're saying we want this to be Father's Month, and so we're celebrating our men, and we're giving some useful tips so that men can start paying attention to their self-care needs, which is basically just doing the task that will help them feel better about themselves, about their well-being, about their thoughts, about how they look. So we spoke already about the spiritual self-care, which I alluded to was the bedrock of self-care. We spoke about emotional self-care, which is just basically getting to know you and know the things that really make you angry and upset so that you are able to gauge your responses and be more guarded in, being too brash and too, spontaneous, that sometimes may lead to physical injuries and so on. And we spoke about physical self-care, and we reminded you that as the man thinketh, so is he. So you harbor great thoughts, confident thoughts, thoughts that will bring joy, thoughts that will, promote well-being rather than thinking low of yourself, and also just to marry the thoughts with the activity, just to make sure that we're exercising, we're keeping hydrated, we are getting enough sleep, and we are making sure that we're on top of our health. The next self-care is your financial self-care. And this involves creating habits that help you achieve your financial goals. So first, you want to take some time after getting to know who you are to advance to deciding what my goals are. Do I want to own a home? Do I want to own a car or some means of transportation. And when can I own these? What's the cost? What would I need to save? What am I earning now? What would be my source of building wealth that I'm able to achieve these things? So all of those things come into your financial care, safe self-care. So maybe you would want to plot out a budget these days, because we're more moving towards that's like being bolstered by AI. There might be different budget apps that you could employ. And when these goals are being made, we have to remember that they have to be smart, they have to be attainable, they have to be realistic, and there must be a time bound, statement that goes along with it. And then it's maybe good to have someone be like an accountability partner. Sometimes we make our plans and they will fall through, but we have to have that stick to itiveness, that even when it falls through, we we are down, but we get up, we brush off, and we come again. So that basically like a determination to achieve despite the challenges, despite the odds. There are persons who are successful today, but if they should go back and tell the story where they're coming from, sometimes we may think that that's really not possible. But keep track of your financial goals and choose pathways that support this goal. The next tip is your professional self-care. Set work times and try to balance work-related tasks. When you're at home, if it's possible, leave work at work. Schedule your vacations. There's a time when persons, because we are wanting to get the funds, we'll not schedule our vacation. We're getting tired, we're getting more tired, but we're not scheduling our vacation because we want to look as if we are the best worker. But it's very, very important to balance work and play. And when you're at work, give it your best. Work with a determination. Work so that you can be remunerated, you can be rewarded, you can be recognized as to because you have done the work correctly, you would have done the work to the best of your ability. And last but by no means least, your psychological self-care. Now this speaks to having a social life. So all of us have that innate need to fulfill that little drive within us. So is it important to you to become a part of the community body of persons who will help to make decisions about different things? Is it important to you to join a sports club? Is it important to you to join a chess club? Is it important for you, whatever it is, find something, a community project, a service group, find some activities that you love, that when you do it, you feel alive and, new again. And that will give you a sense of worth. Set times aside where you can be with your family, where you can be with your friends, and where you can be by yourself. This and these activities will give good endorphins that will help to clear the body of anxiety and stress and promote that confidence. Men, I'm calling on you. Women, I'm calling on you to support the men as they practice self-care. Men who practice self-care, whether by keeping in touch with friends or being engaged in activities, they are, they are less likely to have challenges, all of those challenges that we would have mentioned, because the awareness will help you to keep in touch with your appointments. And if you have the knowledge of this, you're able to make the decisions in terms of what you eat, the activities that you participate in, etc. So I'm encouraging you, men, take time to take care of yourself. When you do that, you will be around a little longer to take care of your family, which is one of the main functions that the scriptures will remind that the men, are the providers. So men, you mean a lot to us, and we want you to take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Schedule that dental appointment. Schedule that appointment to check up. Do your screening for prostate cancer, for different cancers, and be on top of your health. So this is Lillian Lewis McDonald saying to you, men, self-care is not just pampering, but it is taking steps to participate in those activities that will rejuvenate and renew your mind, your bodies, and your spirit. So until we talk again, please promise that you will take good care of your health and your wellness. If you have any questions, if you have any contribution to the story, if you want to share with us some of the self-care tips that you yourself participate in, then feel free to send your message here. Or if you have any questions or concerns, do send us those questions and concerns on 876 336 9928. Until then, take care of your health and your wellness. It's a new season. It's a new day. Join me, Lillian Lewis McDonald, here on NRP Radio, where it's all about focusing on our health and wellness. When? Every Monday at 6:30 p.m. with repeats on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Broadcasting on the platform of nrpmediaja.com, Facebook, YouTube at nrpmediaja. See you then.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
NRP Media and Radio.
The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
You may think that it's over, that your life is done. The best is yet to come. Don't sweat the challenge. Your battle's already won. Yeah. It's yet to come. Listen, y'all. See, God writes the end before the story began. Oh, he told me to tell you the best is yet to come. As the author of your faith, he wrote a provision for you to win. You're a winner, you're a winner, you're a winner. Yeah. You ain't seen your best days yet. You ain't seen your best days yet.